Now it's time for a little bit of movie news.
What?
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 Okay. Everything seems to be in its working order right now. And speaking of working order, ladies and gentlemen, something that is not in working order today and has not been in working order for quite a while. In fact, we reported on this yesterday. This was something that we talked about, not ad nauseum, but a fair amount. AMC theaters, you guys, it's back. It was in the news yesterday, saying that they are pretty much out of cash. They will be completely depleted of cash by the end of December, maybe, if they're lucky, the end of January. That's coming up quick. And for a major, massive company, not just a major, massive company, but for the largest movie theater chain in the world, the largest movie theater chain in the world, to be completely out of cash in 3 months, that's a bad place to be, you guys. That's a bad place to be. So today, AMC hasn't made any official announcements or declarations. However, some Wall Street professionals, I guess, as Wall Street insiders, Wall Street gurus, as I'm going to refer to them as today, Wall Street gurus are starting to project AMC's only way out of this is by filing for bankruptcy. This is their Hail Mary, essentially. Barring they get anyone to come out of the woodworks, and I keep using Amazon as an example, but like Amazon or Apple, if they were to invest a little bit of money, or maybe not invest money, if they were to maybe subsidiate or maybe buy out AMC, or something along those lines, which they have the money, they could do. I don't know if they will or not, but I'm just saying they could, unless some kind of an investor comes in and financially saves AMC from death. They have to file for bankruptcy. And if you go over to the SEC's website, what exactly does bankruptcy mean? Now, I spent the bulk majority of the morning kind of doing a little bit of research on this. If there's any professionals, any finance professionals out there, if you're watching the show, if you know what you're talking about, jump down to the comment section below and help us out a little bit, because this is as best as I could glean, and I'm going to do my best to explain this from a layman's perspective. If AMC Theaters files for bankruptcy, what does that mean? And is this the right? I mean, it may be the only move, but is it the right move? As far as I could tell, there are two different types of bankruptcy. There's Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and there's Chapter 11 bankruptcy. If you file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, that means you're done. You've given everything up. You toss your hands in the air and say, I don't know what else to do. There's nothing else to be done. We're so in debt. There's no possible way we could hope to get ourselves out of this situation. So the government comes in and they liquidate everything that you have, all of your assets, all the stuffs. They sell all of your stuffs, and they pay off your debt as much as they can from just selling all of your buildings, all of your chairs, all of the rest of your popcorn, all that stuff. Chapter 11 bankruptcy is a little bit different. While the Chapter 7 option is still on the table, Chapter 11 bankruptcy means, yes, you're in debt, and you currently can't, the way that things are currently, you can't get yourself out of that debt. No matter what you do, you can't get yourself out of that debt. So with Chapter 11 bankruptcy, what that does is it allows the government to come in, and like the SEC will appoint like a board, like a committee, and they'll go through all of your finances and say, this is where you can cut this, that's where you can cut that. And they prioritize and reorganize your entire business model to help you cut the fat, trim the fat as best you can, pay off your debtors as fast, and most effectively as you can, while you are still able to run day-to-day operations. Chapter 11 bankruptcy allows the company to continue running while and maybe that means selling off some of your assets. Maybe all of the Carmike cinemas that AMC acquired a few years ago, and that they converted over to be the AMC theaters. Maybe those get sold off as well. Maybe you have to sell off some theaters. Maybe you have to lay a few people off. Wherever the best method, and this includes like CEO bonuses and reducing their pay, all of that stuff. It comes into it, everything is taken into account where they can resume day-to-day operations, hopefully pay off as much as they can without having to liquidate and eventually pull themselves up out of debt. So that's Chapter 11. That is the most likely method of AMC theaters to get themselves out of this mess that they have dug themselves into. Natalie, I have gone on a very long, boring rant about what it means to file for bankruptcy and what some of the implications are for AMC theaters. Hearing all of this, seeing the news, do you think that this is AMC's only option, is to file for bankruptcy? Is there another option that you see to hopefully maybe kind of pull them out of the coffers a little bit? Where do you stand?
That's a really good point. Also, I just want to say there's nothing sexier than legal financial law speak. So I will say that it wasn't that boring. It was thrilling. It was amazing. You explained a lot of stuff to me I didn't know. As far as AMC goes, and also, related, last week, Regal theaters shut down all 500 and something of its theaters. It's kind of amazing. It's been a long time coming for both theaters. They've been struggling to kind of keep up in the market for one reason or another. They've been, with what was the service, almost like Movie
AMC
Pass or
A-list.
something. Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
so AMC had A-list, but before that there was the one that was supposed to work at all theaters, and they, AMC had to come up with A-list to make that work. Yeah. So I feel like this has been, unfortunately, the pandemic is not AMC's only financial problem here. Although it is unfortunately a big nail in the coffin. I've said for a while, and you and I have talked about this, I think if one of the big streaming services takes a stake in AMC, I think would be interesting for them. I mean, it might actually help them take a step towards what I thought that AMC would have to do, which is kind of become its own streaming service. Definitely involve the movie studios really taking an investment in them. And also, I wonder, how that kind of it impacts if, say, a chunk of AMC. I wonder how that affects the Academy and, what they would consider as an Academy eligible film, since, now streaming movies have to be in theaters.
There currently are laws, and they've been in place since like the 19 teens, 1920s, 1930s, somewhere through there. It's called like the Paramount Rules or the Paramount Laws or something like that. And essentially the idea, there's like a whole bunch of laws or rules that differentiate studios from exhibitors. And one of the main things is that if you are a studio, you cannot own your own theater, because at the time, that would create a monopoly market. Right? So if, let's just say Disney, the Walt Disney Corporation, so if they have their own movie theater or chain of movie theaters, they're only going to play their own theaters, and they get 100% of the profits, right? Because they don't have to pay for theater. They don't, they still kind of have to pay for distribution, but not at the same rate that they would at, like, say, an AMC or Regal. So, and then let's just say Paramount has their own theaters as well, or, Warner Brothers or whoever, doesn't matter. But now, Paramount's movie theater is nowhere near as popular as the Disney movie theater. So now Paramount wants to play their movies in a Walt Disney theater. Okay, you can do that, but you're really going to have to pay us the money, And now Disney gets the monopoly on exhibiting movie theaters. So now they're the number one movie theater chain in the company and the number one studio in the company. So it's problematic from that perspective. But, you know, kind of as you say, we're living in the height of the streaming era. So they're kind of, in a weird sort of way, already kind of doing that with Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Apple TV Plus. Like, the studios have their own exhibiting platforms. So, I mean, they're not as relevant as they used to be.
Yeah, and I also kind of think about the fact that as far as streaming services, we definitely have an over of those thrown at people. It's almost like not just, you know, for me where I am in Virginia, theaters have been open for a couple of months. I know in New York State, they're still not open. I believe California or LA might be, yeah, I think it's just related to Los Angeles. Those theaters aren't open. And they kind of cite that as being one of the reasons why AMC is kind of going downhill. But I'm just surprised that revenue from New York City or Los Angeles are the one, you know, that is what is causing the biggest kind of shortfall considering so many other theaters are open.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big problem in and of itself as well. You know, as you say, New York and LA are still shut down. That's a huge in the United States. That's 30% of the market between New York and LA. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the chains, though. I think that's important to think about. I think that we still have an affinity for nostalgia, and I don't know how AMC is going to survive the next couple of years. I don't know. Same thing with Regal, but I don't believe that movie theaters themselves are going to go away. I can't see that happening.
I agree. I can't see that happening myself either, but I mean, we live in the era of what was impossible yesterday suddenly is possible today. Like, the news keeps changing, things keep happening from day to day, and you just don't know. You think we have, like I would like to think that we have a fair idea as to like how this is going to go, but I mean, I personally don't think movie theaters are going to completely go away. Same as you, Natalie. But I mean, who knows? Anything could happen. Question is for you guys, what do you think about AMC filing for bankruptcy? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Is there an option in the middle that we haven't considered? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Batman from the animated series would want you to do. His name is Batman.